Rise and shine, Rwanda. It's Monday, the 17th of August.
Coming up on today's Rise and Shine Rwanda.
Our country's leaders have been urged to successfully implement the targets they have set for themselves.
Sports highlights with Arnold Pizeta.
And no gym, no problem. We learn about alternative items to use to stay fit. Good morning, it's just after 7 o'clock in the morning and you're watching Rise and Shine Rwanda with me, Regis Isheja.
And me, Fidelis Karangwa.
And over the next hour, we'll bring you all the latest news, sports, and business headlines from here in Rwanda and around the world. Fidelis, what's happening in the world of the money?
Well, lots of trade deals that are being set up in the country and outside the country with other countries, so we're set to benefit a lot. I'll tell you about that.
Yes, we are. And we have Arnold back. Sports, what's happening?
A lot has been happening.
We've missed you, Arnold.
Absolutely.
I missed you too, guys. The English Premier League is, happening. Serena was shocked over the weekend. We're going to look at that. The PGA, the last Open Grand Slam golf tournament, has been taking place.
Right.
Tennis, a lot of tennis news locally. Habiyambere, the youngster, is getting...
Umubano tournament, that was something.
Yeah, it's the first Umubano tournament. And disarray in Kyovo Football Club. We're going to
I don't understand that. You're going to have to explain a lot of things to me, because we reported about it when you were gone.
Yeah,
and then all of a sudden
you and Asha talk about it.
Right. It's very weird. All right. I'm looking forward to all that, guys. All that and more still to come. But first, Rise and Shine story of the day. It's a pre-colonial cultural practice in Rwanda where an individual sets targets or goals to be achieved within a specific period of time. The person must complete these objectives by following guiding principles and be determined to overcome any possible challenges that arise. In 2006, Imihigo, known also as performance contracts, were reintroduced as one of Rwanda's homegrown solutions and have been credited with improving accountability and quickening the pace of citizen-centered development activities and programs. Take a look.
Ibyangombwa byose twabibonye twabyumvise icyo dusaba ni ukugira ngo buri wese twese dukomeze twongera imbaraga twongera kunoza ibyo dukora.
For the 2015-2016 fiscal year, leaders in the central and local governments signed performance contracts last week with His Excellency President Paul Kagame urging them to successfully implement the targets that they have set for themselves. Mayors of Huye, Ngoma, Ngororero, and Nyanza districts received trophies from President Kagame in recognition of their good performance in implementing Imihigo targets.
Imikorere nibiva muri iyo mikorere birushaho kwiyongera. Ari uguhuza imihigo n'ahava amikoro no gutoranya ibigomba gushyirwaho uburemere kurusha ibindi nuko bifitanye isano ngira ngo ibyo birasobanutse bizaduha uburyo bwo kurushaho gukora.
Iki gikombe mfite mu ntoki n'umusaruro ukomoka ku bikorwa abaturage bakoze. Abaturage b'akarere ka Huye nk'uko mubizi uyu muhigo n'uw'abaturage twe turaza tugahiga mu izina ryabo ubundi bakajya gushyira mu bikorwa ariko dufatanije. Akaba ari umusaruro twishimiye kuko ibyo bahize, ibyo biyemeje gukora, ibyo bakoze, ibyo twafatanije n'abafatanyabikorwa batandukanye, ibyo twakurikiranye kugira ngo bigerweho, ibi byose uyu niwo musaruro tukuyemo.
Overall, districts have planned to spend 206 billion Rwandan francs in the current fiscal year to implement several projects, including building more than 1,000 kilometers of feeder roads and collecting 52 billion Rwandan francs in taxes. This is what we call accountability. For more information on Imihigo, make sure you check out Rwandapedia. Regis Sheja, Rise and Shine Rwanda. Is Godfrey Kabera, Director General of National Development Planning and Research at the Ministry of Finance. Welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you very much, Regis.
All right, now let's get into the thick of things. This is a pre-colonial tradition that was there, and then in 2006 came back in the form of, something big. One of, just like, we talk about gachacha, just like we talk about kwitizina and all these homegrown solutions that Rwanda is becoming more and more known about. Tell us about Imihigo and what brought it back in 2006.
Imihigo is a performance contract, basically, and it's a contract that is aimed at delivering development.
Great.
So what this means is that in practice, leaders commit to some targets that they will deliver in terms of development outcomes. So, for example, providing access to water, access to electricity, or building roads or particular infrastructure. Or getting people to go to school and helping mobilizing the population to get enrolled in subscribe to the health insurance scheme. And the reason why this is coming back from the old days when we had this in the Rwandan culture, where we still had the culture of being able to set ourselves high standards and demanding a lot of ourselves. So this is something that we found useful again, and given the challenges we've had in our development and given our history, the genocide against the Tutsi and all the devastation that happened after that, we found it necessary to have a tool that comes out of our own culture that reinforces results, delivering on results and result-based management in our institutions. And we've seen a lot of impact since it was introduced in 2006. Of massive change in the way development outcomes are being delivered compared to before then. And if you just look, for example, at the poverty figures, we had a small change between 2001 and 2006 from 60% of the population under the poverty line to 57% in 2006. But from 2006 to 2011, we managed to get from 57% to 45%, which was a huge difference. And part of that, I would say, is attributed to the results and accountability that's delivered through Imihigo.
Now, why Nyanza, why Huye, why Ngororero? Why are these districts standing out?
These districts, there's a way that, first of all, I'd like to say the performance contracts are done in such a way that regardless of the capacity of the districts, their targets are ambitious. And what it means is that given their means, for example, you'd have urban districts in Kigali City like Kicukiro, Gasabo, Nyarugenge that have a lot more of their own revenues and are able to generate a lot more in terms of capacity of the population, skills and others. But those who have much more is required of them. Right. So those districts that are also sort of rural and semi-rural, they have targets that are ambitious on their own level. But how we divide the Imihigo, we have three categories: economic, social, and governance. So we have the biggest scoring that goes to economic. When you deliver on economic, meaning that you're raising the economic growth, contributing to a base that can be contribute to the national economy. And then social, where you look at how does the population benefit in terms of better livelihoods. And then looking at governance, is all this done in a way that facilitates people to participate and for them to be able to voice their opinions and also to contribute to their own development. So when you see these districts that have been at the top, it means that they've done significantly well in those areas, and at the same time being able to involve their population in decision making and make sure that that there's a lot of participation and feedback and accountability that has been part of the entire process.
Now, for those watching us in different districts who did not get to win any trophies this year, who did not have their mayors bringing back trophies, looking forward to the next fiscal year, what do they have to do? Let's get into the nitty-gritty of the whole thing. What do they have to do to be, held in that regard as well?
So the first, going back to the drawing board is the first thing, given that we already began 2015-16, and which is the fiscal year where we base our targets on, which starts in July and ends in June of the following year. So this is a time which is good for everyone to get back together and reflect and ask questions among each other and say, if this is how we performed, how can we deliver on the 2015-16 performance contract better? And the only way that this can be done is actually by enhancing coordination,
right,
enhancing participation. A lot of the things in the contracts that are signed in these performance contracts require participation of the population. The private sector is going to be key. So these districts have to look, any district that wants to aspire to be at the top really needs to look at how can they engage the private sector better and deliver on development projects, and how can the citizens be at the center of all this.
Now, I cannot let you go, obviously, without asking you the obvious that everybody at home would like to ask you. Last year, there was, actually even earlier this year, there was a lot of mayors who were stepping down, and we heard news that some of them hadn't respected their Imihigo goals, and they knew it will come down tumbling at the end when they had to actually, talk about their numbers, what they did, and so forth. Do you think we might see something similar to that in the next fiscal year, or was that just the past and we're moving forward?
I think it all comes down to, as His Excellency the President said during the officiation of the signing ceremony, it's important that people go back to the causes and look at why are some districts performing better than others, and why are there some that might be or that have a trend of consistently performing poorly.
Right.
So I think in terms of measures that would be taken after would depend on what exactly is the cause. And it would be difficult at this time to pinpoint that and say, I expect a flow of mayors getting out or anything like that, but we need to look at what are the causes and have dialogue, engage with them, understand what are the issues. Is it that they need more support, or is it that there's a failure on the side of the leadership or something like that? Then appropriate measures would be taken.
To any foreigners that could be watching this show who do not understand necessarily what Imihigo is this just on the government level, or does this touch every single layer of the society?
So the Imihigo is, as we started saying, is much more than just government business. This is actually a cultural norm and something that in the past was part and parcel of the Rwandan culture. So right now there's an initiative ongoing to actually deepen the Imihigo and take it to the household level, including families, to go to the village level and going upwards. This is actually where real development happens, when people are able to make sure that that children go to school, that they have access to health, that if education is now free, why shouldn't they be going to school, and things like that. So making such commitments, but also being able to invest their own energy in their development. There's a lot of opportunities out there offered by public services, by government, and sometimes it also requires an effort from the side of the citizens to actually engage in these. So these are the kind of things we want to see more and more in individual performance contracts from the family level going upwards. But also the private sector, we know that this culture has spread in some companies. We have performance contracts that are done between staff and management. We have the same thing that happens between officials, and even as we go down to the layers of departments and individuals in departments. So it's something that has really improved the results and accountability and the transparency of the whole development process.
Well, if you had Imihigo here, would have you sign them, because we appreciate not only you making it on the couch, but on a short notice. We appreciate a lot.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Godfrey Kabera. And for those who would like to have more information on Imihigo, please do go and visit Rwandapedia. They have a lot of things on there that talk about Imihigo. Thank you for watching us. We'll be right back.
Here is to traveling and saving. Starting 1st of April to the 1st of June, travel with Rwanda and take advantage of our reduced fares and enjoy our world-class services in great comfort and safety.
Fly our dream to the heart of Africa.
Welcome back to Rise and Shine Rwanda. Time now for your business stories. Fidelis Karangwa has the details.
Business stories making headlines today. Experts said the two recent bilateral trade deals, one between Uganda and Kenya and the other negotiated late last month between Rwanda and the Democratic Republic of Congo, are a step in the right direction towards deepening intra-regional trade. Under the new deal signed by President Uhuru Kenyatta and his counterpart Yoweri Museveni during his 3-day state visit to Kampala, Kenya will once again start accepting sugar exports from Uganda. The announcement, however, was received negatively by a section of the Kenyan public led by opposition leader Raila Odinga, who described it as a sour deal that will only flood the Kenyan market with cheap Ugandan sugar, hence hurting local sugar manufacturers. The lack of production capacity has limited the volumes of Rwandan exports despite availability of opportunities in the international markets. Although regional and international export markets are opening up for Rwandan products, there is still low investment in the new export chains such as horticulture. According to data obtained from NAEB, the highest increase in agriculture exports was realized in livestock products, which moved from $25 million to over $60 million, followed by grains and flours, which moved from $16 million in 2010 to $35 million in 2014, representing a 113.8% growth. Officials said although the prices this year have been unpredictable, farmers may not be affected due to the fluctuation. And East African economies are looking to benefit from increased trade with the rest of the world following the extension of the 146-year-old Suez Canal in Egypt. The regional bloc has been receiving growing volumes of cargo from 3.8 million tons in 2004 to 4.3 million tons in 2014 through the canal. Products passing through the canal include petroleum and related products such as crude oil, gasoline, and diesel oil, among others, as well as foodstuffs. It is expected revenues will expand and more than double in 2023 to $13.2 billion from $3.8 billion. Your up-to-date today's business headlines. Post news come up next in just a minute with Arno Quizera.
Welcome back to Rise and Shine Rwanda. Time now for your sports news. I'm Arnold Quizeda. Now, Kiyovu have sacked newly appointed Nigerian coach Samuel Amamba just 3 days after his appointment to the job for failing to produce what the club termed as valid documents. The Mumena-based club announced on Wednesday that they appointed Amamba as the team's head coach on a one-year contract until the end of the new season, which is scheduled to get underway on September the 18th. Moving on to tennis, youngster Ernest Habiyambere beat Rwanda's number 2 seed Olivier Havugimana in the final of the inaugural Umubano Hotel Tennis Open tournament to win his first title in the senior category competition. The 16-year-old Habiyambere, seeded number 5 at the tournament, dominated his older opponent in straight sets, winning 6-3, 6-1 to claim the trophy and cash prize of 150,000 Rwandan francs. And still with tennis, top-ranked Serena Williams stumbled in the Rogers Cup semi-finals on Saturday night, falling 6-3, 5-7, 4-6 to Swiss teenager Belinda Bencic. The 18-year-old Bencic became the youngest player to beat Williams in a completed match since Maria Sharapova at 17 in the 2004 WTA finals. 33-year-old Williams lost only for the second time in 45 matches this season.
All right, Arnold, so the mystery surrounding Kiyovu Sport. Last week when you weren't here, Ashako Mugisha was talking about how, this is a team that's trying to get back into the thick of things, be mentioned with the polices of this world, and other teams are doing well. But, we announced that they hired a new coach, a foreign coach on top of that. 5 days after, he's no longer the head coach. What's happening?
Actually, it's 3 days after.
3 days? It's even worse.
Yeah, Coach Amamba, apparently, Rayon Sports, Kiyovu Football Club's management says he didn't give them original documentation. The documentation he gave them looks to have been forged, and that's his CAF B coaching license, which is required for him to be allowed to take charge of a club of Kiyovu's Manta, as being that Rwanda runs what you will call a professional league, a registered professional league internationally. So coaches have to be at a certain level right now in the to be allowed to take on the coaching of Kiyovu. Now, Coach Amamba, the Nigerian, he has not yet given us feedback. Our attempts to get to him, to reach out to him, he has failed to answer some colleagues of mine who have tried to get to him. But the situation with Kiyovu are now, especially now that the Agaciro Fund Cup is coming around the corner, is what you would call they're in no man's land, because they have lost a number of players. They tried to sign the likes of Jimmy Molisa to bring them back into the club, to try and rejuvenate that club. Kiyovu should be a top 4 club. When you look at the traditional giants, the oldest clubs we have in the country, Kiyovu is up there with Rayon Sports. But shockingly, this club, that is, it has a very strong fan base. Kiyovu has a stronger fan base, or has more numbers than the current Peace Cup winners, Police Football Club. When you go out to watch the matches at Mumena Stadium, Kiyovu really has a strong following. But I think a few administrative wrangles, they are not sound financially, and we're still wondering how they were going to be able to take care of their finances, especially with a new coach, a foreign coach. How much were they going to pay him? Were they going to be able to pay him on time? And this is a club that has been selling some of its best players lately. But you feel they're going to go on and recruit players, especially coming in from Burundi, which has been their stronghold. And you believe Kiyovu is a team that can wrestle up there. It shouldn't be competing with the likes of Espoir, trying to avoid relegation. Yeah, it should be a top 4, top 5, top 6 team, and it should be performing regularly at a top-notch level in the country.
All right, now let's move on. Let's talk about the Umubano Open. Tennis, it's great when you see, young tennis players emerge as we saw. We knew Olivier was good already, but to see the crop of players that are actually, making the sport shine in the country, that's pretty good, right?
Yeah, Javier Mbere is he's no shocker. I think his beating Olivier was expected. When you look at the story of Javier Mbere, I've followed this young man from 2013. He first went to the ITF academy that was in Burundi, from where they saw his talent. By then he was aged about 13 years old. Then he was taken to Morocco for residential training, again by the International Tennis Federation. He came back here. He was taken to Russia for more training. And again, this shows what can happen of the player if a player is well groomed. We had this kind of conversation with a former tennis player in Liz Karenzi some time back on the show. And even herself, she looked at this young man, and you look at this young man as one of the future. He can step into the footsteps of Jean-Claude Gasigwa or even the older Javier Mbere, because just 2 years back, we had the Castle Light Open tournament in Uganda, which is the biggest tennis tournament in the region, having an all-Rwandan fighter. And that was Jean-Claude Gasigwa versus the older Javier Mbere. But now, Rwanda has fallen off its perch when it comes to tennis, and tennis is one of the sports that was up there. We have a lot of tennis courts in the country. When you look at our tennis facilities and you compare them to those, in Burundi, in Congo, in Uganda, our tennis facilities are up there because you have courts in almost every province. So you expect these youngsters to be groomed, but they lack the basics. At a tournament, they go for tournaments and they have no water. Now, you will be shocked. This is the first men's tournament, professional men's tournament of the year. And in what month are we in? We're in August, the 8th month of the year. And we've only had 3 tournaments throughout the year. 2 of them women's tournaments and 1 men's tournament. That's not good for a sport like tennis that you feel Rwanda should be up there playing, in the likes of the Davis Cup tournaments. Because there's no reason why our neighbors are playing in these tournaments and we are not. Yet we have the talent. We know we have 16-year-olds playing such a beautiful sport.
Right, staying with tennis now. Last Saturday was a shocker when we all heard that Serena Williams had to exit the Rogers Cup. This is a tournament that she has won several times, especially since it's a tune-up to the U.S. Open. You will expect her to do better. What happened?
I think it's a mixture of things. But when you look at the preparation Serena has had this year and to when she was going into the hard court season last year, she lost her first hard court tournament. Now, she needed that rest before, and it may play to her advantage, because you've seen the likes of Maria Sharapova have not participated in this Rogers Cup this year. Still, Serena is the force to reckon with tennis. She is the benchmark of what a great tennis player in this open era should be. She is the greatest female tennis player of all time. So you feel still going in the hard court season, going into the U.S. Open, she'll still be favorite. Maybe Eugene Bochard and Maria Sharapova will be seen as
they have something to say
as others who can say something about. But it's also great for this young lady, the Swiss player, 18 years of age. You will never forget the first time you beat a great. Yeah, and it should help elevate her game, especially going into the other rounds. And it will be nice for her to see a new name, win a new tournament. But it will also be better for the tennis world to see Serena Williams complete that Serena Slam.
Well, Margaret Court and Steffi Graf are shaking in their tennis shoes right now. Thank you very much, Arnold.
Thank you to Regis.
All right, you're watching Rise and Shine Rwanda. We'll be right back after the break.
Let's take a look now at news-making headlines here in Rwanda and around the world.
The 5 fallen Rwanda Defense Force peacekeepers killed last week in Bangui, Central African Republic, were laid to rest over the weekend in an honorable and befitting ceremony at Kanombe Military Cemetery in Kigali. The soldiers were serving under the Rabat II contingent, which is deployed under the United Nations Multidimensional Integrated Stabilization Mission in the Central African Republic. Sergeant Major Peter Rwamugabo, Sergeant Major Ferdinand Duayezu, and Sergeant Fidel Bizimana and Sergeant Bernard Ruseka died on the spot, while Sergeant Eric Gasigwa succumbed to his injuries at Nakasero Hospital in Kampala, Uganda, where he and several others had been evacuated. The Minister of Defense, General James Kabarebe, commended the bravery of members of Rabat II, who immediately engaged the assailant, killing him and saving the lives of other comrades.
The First Lady, Mrs. Jeanette Kagame, has called on young girls to use technology and discover the tools needed to face the world's challenges. Mrs. Jeanette made the remarks while officiating at the closure of a 3-week Women in Science and Innovation summer camp held at Gashora Girls Academy in Gesera district. A diverse group made of 120 female students from Ethiopia, Ghana, Kenya, Nigeria, Rwanda, South Africa, Tanzania, Uganda, and the United States took part in the challenge hands-on curriculum taught by industry professionals on the computer science and robotics, entrepreneurship, and design. Rwanda becomes the first country to host the all-girls technology camp thanks to the persistent efforts of the government to promote STEM fields nationwide and viewing them as tools of sustainable development.
And in regional news, the former head of Burundi's army has been shot dead outside his home in the capital, Bujumbura. Colonel General Jean Bikomagu, who led the armed forces during the country's civil war, was gunned down as he drove through the gates of his house, and his daughter was badly injured in the attack. He is the second high-profile military officer to be killed, following the ambush 2 weeks ago on General Adolphe Nshimirimana, a close ally and head of Nkurunziza's security detail. The country has been rocked in political turmoil ever since President Nkurunziza announced his intention to vie for a controversial third term. Tensions then have forced more than 100,000 people to flee this year.
And international news, at least 40 migrants have died in overcrowded boats in the Mediterranean. Some 320 others were rescued while the vessel was intercepted off Libya. The dead were found in the fishing boat's hold. It is thought they died after inhaling fumes from the engine. So far this year, more than 2,000 migrants have died trying to cross the sea to Europe. The fishing boat was apparently taking on water while it was spotted about 21 neutral miles off the Libyan coast and south of the Italian island of Nempedas. Those rescued include about 10 women and as well as children. Okay, lots more still to come. We take a look at our lifestyle segment and what's hot right now in the daily debate section, Hot Topics. We'll be right back.
Here is to traveling and saving. Starting 1st of April to the 1st of June, travel with Rwanda and take advantage of our reduced fares and enjoy our world-class services in great comfort and safety.
Fly our dream to the heart of Africa.
Welcome back to Rise and Shine Rwanda Lifestyle Now. Fidelis, what do you have for us?
It's Motivation Monday.
Yes, it is.
Here on Rise and Shine Rwanda, we've made it our mission to help you maintain a healthy lifestyle at a low cost as much as possible. Today's segment, I'm sure you're going to love as we learn how to make the most of our workouts with nothing more than a tire. Take a look.
Maybe you are at your place, at your home, and you have so many tires at home. You want to exercise. So I want to show you different exercises using tires. So one of the exercises I'm going to show you is deadlift. You can deadlift using a tire, but some of us don't know how to use it. So I want to show you how to deadlift using a tire.
Oh yes, you had that right. We all know that everyone cannot afford to go to the gym, but that's not an excuse not to exercise. With a mere tire, you can do the exercises like deadlifts, squats, lunges, to mention but a few. However, for every first-timer, the thought of carrying a huge tire like this one could be terrifying.
I was a bit intimidated at first. There are these big hunks of rubber and it seemed like something, big guys are working with. So I was a bit intimidated, but, once Evans kind of showed me some of the exercises and broke it down for me, it was actually, really enjoyable, quite fun.
So why work out to the tire, you may wonder? Sean, who has been using the tire for a while now, shared with us some of its benefits.
So I think working with a tire has, two main benefits for me at least. It's something you can do outside of the gym, at home, or even if you have a parking lot or open field, really, you don't need anything else. But I also found that it provided a lot more cushion when you're normally working on the floor. Even if you want to do core exercises at home or dips on the floor, it can be really hard on your hands and your back and even your bum. And so it's nice to use a rubber tire actually because you get a little more padding everything you're doing, and it also adds some more stability training. So yeah, it's a really great workout.
There you have it. Dust off your old tires and put them to good use. Whenever you feel lazy or terrified, just remember this.
I think one of the kind of cool things is taking on things that intimidate you is when you accomplish them, you get a really great sense of, reward and benefit. So, yeah.
Kangwa Fidelis, Rise and Shine Rwanda.
All right, so tell me, the great thing about this, because, some of us dread going to the gym, the great thing about this is you can actually do these exercises with just a tire or multiple tires without having to go to the gym. That's great.
Exactly. And and what's even better is you can do it anywhere really. So
right.
At your house, like they said in the video, in your parking lot, wherever really.
Very
Your
convenient.
office, at the office you can decide to ask for some space,
the
put your
office?
tire. You never know. Some people like to just make the most of their workouts.
Right.
So you can basically do these workouts anywhere. And these are normally workouts that you would have normally done at the gym, like lunges and squats. These are things that you normally would have done with weights at the gym, but the difference now is you're using the tire to do them. So it's a lot cheaper because, honestly, if you go to, let's say, Gachinjiro, all these garages, you can easily get a tire that no one is using anymore for a very low cost, and you can use it for everyday workouts.
Now, what did you learn from the process? How do you feel tires do help you in actuality?
Well, first of all, those are huge tires. Personally,
Right.
I'd be terrified to use them. But at the end of the day, the result is exactly the same as if you're using weights. So it's just a cheaper option, really. And like they said in the video, most people, before they start using the tires, they think, maybe it's not as effective, or they're terrified because they're thinking these tires are huge or something like that. It's just something you get over after a while. After you've done it once or twice, you get used to it and it becomes part of your routine, really. So it's just a matter of getting used to it and opening your mind to the fact that you can actually do it, because it is easy. If you can do the weights, you can use the tire.
Now you've become like the Motivation Monday guru
I really
here.
have.
Are you thinking about picking this up and actually doing it?
Well, I'm still going through a phase of getting used to the idea because personally I still think I cannot do it. I tried carrying one of them and I literally got halfway and almost and almost died. But I'm open to trying out new things all the time, so I feel like it's something I can definitely try, and I'd recommend it to anyone really because, like I said, it's very, very cost effective. Honestly, you can do it anywhere.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. I can't wait. Let me think about it. I'm thinking about it. It helps me not going to the gym, so I might go for it.
You don't have to go to the gym, exactly. So you can just get a tire, put it in your backyard, and every morning, every evening, just do this one thing or two things.
Right.
Yeah.
I like that.
Perfect.
All right. Do not go anywhere. Hot topics are up next.
Welcome back, and it's that Hot Topics time again. As always, the Sunshine Rwanda team have been out and about gathering everything you need to know about what's happening here and abroad, from what's trending on Twitter to the debates in your local cafes. We've got it right here, right now. Now, guys, one of the things that everyone is talking about right now is the Primus Guma Guma Superstar Season 5. And of course, I'm very proud to announce that this year, a lady won. I'm very, very proud of that. Butera Nolas, you all know her. How do you guys feel about this?
Well, I was at the same venue, actually. I was at Stade Amahoro for Dîner en Blanc.
Yeah?
It was happening at the same time. And the amount of people on the streets coming, strolling down from Stade Amahoro, going to all parts of the city after that, it was scary.
Exactly.
All the way to
people
Kinigura
attend this event.
walking.
It's a serious
I
thing.
I go through this every day with my footballer.
Oh, you do? But I'm very happy Knowless won. I feel like, it's a change of tides a little bit. It shows that, this is not a men's...
Was it a surprise?
See, that's the thing. It's funny you should bring that up, because everyone feels like it's a gender thing. The only reason why she won is because they thought it's about time,
But
the ladies took it. Do you guys feel that way too?
Let's create a situation, guys. Let's create a situation. I'm not the best. My music knowledge is not the best.
Yes.
First time it was won by
Tom Close.
Tom Close, yes. Then came Riderman. After he said if he doesn't win, he will pull out of the competition the next year, right? So he wins that year.
So you feel like the threats are why people
I'm getting
win?
somewhere. J. Poli makes a similar threat in a season whereby Knowles pulls out, saying it's not fair competition. Yeah, so she pulls out of the competition. Yeah, so J. Poli makes a similar threat and he wins. So Knowles comes back into the competition and wins.
So you feel like it's premeditated, that people, they always plan who won.
I understand why someone would think that way.
Lots of people feel that way. But honestly speaking, I also, I've been following up on the competition this year, and I mean, she's released a lot of good music, really good songs. She's
what do they
video quality.
What do they base on?
Well, some of the criteria is having like really good quality videos, and you have to have at least release,
I thought it was a music singing competition.
But it really is, and she's been doing really well. Have you seen her performances on stage?
Exactly.
She's improved a lot. And
improved.
She's making it a lot of fun. She's bringing a lot of dances, a lot of
choreography. I'm not an expert in music, but I understand why he will say what he's saying, because I'm pretty sure he's not the only one.
While you make these arguments, do you think whom do you think should have won?
Exactly, that's where I was going.
Yeah.
So being an improved artist, and being the best artist are two different things.
In the country at the moment.
No, as in general terms, when you use the terms.
Yes.
When you say this, you can be the most improved player,
but you can't be you
can't.
The MVP.
You are not the MVP.
Right.
Stephen Curry is, the best player in the NBA. Is the MVP, but he is not the best player in the NBA. Right. It's still LeBron James. Right. So, to me, Bruce Melody is the best stage performer in this country. Yeah, and that's what I thought.
Your knowledge is better than mine. I like that.
Did you have a favorite?
Who was in the competition,
yes.
first of all?
You don't know who was in the competition?
No.
You're completely clueless, and you
and
clearly
that's why
you
he
cannot
said
tell.
what he said.
No, but honestly speaking, I think
two?
she's been Bruce Melody, exactly.
Yeah, and he was number 2 the year before.
Yeah.
So he's been number 2 years in a row.
Exactly.
Now, right?
But I feel like
that just doesn't make sense.
No, I feel like she's been in this competition. She's been learning a lot. I've seen her improve over the years, and
she's not the strongest of vocal singers.
No, but she's improved a lot, and that's at the end of the day. Also, part of the reason why they have this competition is to help people improve in life, and she's improved a lot. Lots of people thought she deserved it. I mean, at least while they were announcing the results, I was watching it on TV, and everyone kept on screaming her name. So I mean, there's a huge population of people that she deserves.
I also believe it's more of a popularity contest, whereby if you're an established artist, it's easier for you to win than you being the
Well,
best
based on
artist.
the people I saw strolling the streets yesterday, and remembering that J. Poli won last year,
Yes.
it definitely is a popularity
And
contest.
you know also the fact that they vote also contributes a lot to who wins. So also that has to be taken into
Also the
account.
fact
So
that
people thought she
the
deserved
company
it.
makes a
And
lot
I'm
of money.
personally happy. Hey, anything for the ladies. I'm good to
All
go.
right.
Now you said you attended the dinner.
I attended
Tell
Dîner
us
en
about
Blanc. It
that.
was at the same venue. Clearly, there was a lot of traffic yesterday around the Remera, Kimirongo area. But
Are those the only venues we have in this country? Is it the stadium?
it
We're
looks like
maximizing
that.
on it.
And there was actually Giants of Africa at the same.
I was
the
at
same time.
I was at
Absolutely.
Giants of
Multi-purpose.
Africa.
Right, and there was a lot of traffic for that too. A lot of police officers. But listen, Dîner en Blanc went well, no hitches. This is the 4th edition. Again, kudos to Illum. They'll be on the show tomorrow. They're coming in the studio tomorrow to talk about it. But kudos to them. Really well organized, no incidents.
Would you say it has improved a lot since it started?
I would say, well, it's hard to look. I worked on the second one.
Yeah.
So I was part of the crew that organized it, and I would say.
So we don't expect an impartial.
Yeah, do not
opinion.
expect an impartial answer. But at the same time, since I'm a little bit removed, I can say this: it's never like the first one. So I never went to the first one, but I went to the second one, which was my first one. So your first impression, most of the time, is always.
I had friends who came in from
that's the story I've been
Right.
waiting for.
Yeah.
So apparently you had a different version. Not your friends didn't like it.
I was at Dîner en Blanc there the year before, and then I had friends come. I didn't have the hype for it this year. I don't know. Maybe the change of dates and everything didn't go well with me. But I had friends who, like, since June last year, or this year, were like, there's this white party in Kigali and we want to attend because of the hype, the way the photos look. They got here and were a little bit very, okay, not a little bit, they were very disappointed by it. They felt the hype it's given and what, what they expected. In fact, they ended up going for Guma Guma.
Okay, so what happened? What happened to your experience last year? When you went, did you like it? When it was your time to go, because it was your first time last year.
I was torn in between.
Okay.
I say any opportunities for people to gather around and have a good time is a good thing.
Well,
so,
I have a funny story. A lot of people on the street gathered around the stadium, onlookers. I'm talking about onlookers here. Just looking at people strolling into the stadium wearing all white from head to toe.
Exactly.
And it was packed. People stopped traffic, all looking at all these people wearing white to go to one venue. They're all carrying like white stuff and all that.
Yes.
People didn't get it. So they would like approach you like before you get in.
Like, what's happening?
Like,
what are you doing?
are you guys Rwandans?
Yeah.
Is this something that happens often?
But that's the other
What's
thing.
The
That's the other thing. People feel like it's a bit, let's say, secluded, that there's a particular kind of people who go for it and a particular kind of people who don't.
It's open
so
to the public.
Maybe that's something like you say, things that needs to change.
I think that comes out because coming from your statement, people asking, is it random?
Exactly.
Because I was at the Giants of Africa game, and as I was coming out with one of my colleagues, one of our fellow journalists who reports for one of the radio stations, she was like, what's this taking place here? And I was like, it's Dîner en Blanc. She's like, what's that? Yeah. So I think people feel maybe
people need to get more information.
Exactly.
About
Yes. Good thing we're going to have them on the
John
couch tomorrow,
Mazimaka
so
is
we'll
coming
be sure
tomorrow,
to hit them up with all these questions.
Absolutely.
For sure. Now, don't forget, we love to hear your thoughts, comments, and feedback on what we're talking about here on Rise and Shine Rwanda. Tweet us at Rise and Shine RW. Like us on Facebook and send us your ideas for programs. Check out our Rise and Shine Rwanda YouTube page where you can catch all the shows and reports that we do. Find us on Instagram, Rise and Shine RW. We'd love to see your pics. Or check out our Rise and Shine Rwanda website. Well, that's all the time that we have, unfortunately.
Right.
But we love to hear your feedback. So do let us know if you have any idea for the program. You've been watching Rise and Shine Rwanda with me, Fidelis Karangwa.
And me, Regis Isheja, will be here same time, same place tomorrow. So do join us then. But for now, from the two of us and this great gentleman who's back on the show now.
Arnold.
Welcome back. Have a great day, guys. We'll see you back tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Bye.